So you think you found God, and then all the company of heaven is open to you. I say to you now, sand will cover this place. Sand will cover you. A little sweat, another bullet clip, a flash of red, can you guess how we're playing? Righteous man, blood's all over your hands, open your eyes and see. It's not too late, not too far, no turning back, don't you waste your time praying. Stop the lies, well all over your eyes, is it all we'll ever be?
It's just our human nature. We wouldn't have it any other way.
To fight the devil for what went wrong. The grace was in us all along. To fight the devil for what went wrong. The grace was in us all along. A child dies, a mother cries. Well, the fire is running like screaming. It's time to show you what we sold. Open your eyes and see. It's getting dark, it falls apart. And that's a lie with the sound of it screaming. Righteous man, blood's all over your hands. Better you than me.
It's just our human nature.
To fight the devil for what went wrong. The grace was in us all along. To fight the devil for what went wrong. The grace was you all along. Open your eyes. Open your So you think you found God?
And we are live. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and this is another We Are Live stream. I want to thank you all so much, so very much for joining us. Sorry we took a break last week. I was doing some family visiting and all that fun stuff, so I needed to kind of put the show on the back burner for a little bit to take care of some much needed family time, and plus the internet out there was really sketchy. We took like a little family hiatus, I guess is the best way to say it. But once again, I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Let me just get these levels right because I am struggling. Okay, got it. Cool. Awesome. Perfect. So once again, thank you all so very much for joining us. You just got done listening to Boneyard by Dolly Van Gogh. Once again, that is Boneyard by Dolly Van Gogh. So please, as always, make sure you are leaving your feedback, your comments, your questions, your concerns in the comment section below. That is the whole point of this show, is to get your feedback and kind of see if you're feeling the songs that we're playing or if you'd rather kind of see something else. But regardless, like I said, Boneyard, Dolly Van Gogh. So we have a very, very, very packed show today. So I'm going to keep a lot of my talking to a minimum. We're doing a 2-hour special to make up for last week. We have 3 interviews. Count them. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. We have 3 interviews, 2 hours. I think it's like 15 songs, so we got a lot to get through and a lot to catch up on. So, please buckle in and get ready for a hell of a show. So, we're going to just jump into the next segment, which features our first interview of the night with Lyra Starr. I can't believe I pronounced that right. Lyra Starr. I used to pronounce it Lyra, but it's Lyra. She corrected me at one point. We had her on the podcast, or we were supposed to have her on the podcast last week, or 2 weeks ago, before I went on the trip, and some scheduling conflicts came up, and so I asked her if she wanted to be on the We Are live stream because she had just released some new music, and so it happened to work out, and that's kind of what prompted the 2-hour special, because so you get it. So we're going to have her coming up in the next segment after this next song. But first, let me introduce our second song of the night. It is Bring the Sunshine by Dana Gregory. And so let's jump into it and make sure you are leaving your comments and your feedback. Oh, wait, before we jump into that, let me clarify. All 3 of our interviews tonight are pre-recorded. They were recorded all 3 different days, different weeks, out of order. So you're going to see some weird jumping back and forth where my hair looks longer or I don't look as shaved. It's because these interviews were shot over the course of the last 3 weeks. But we're going to jump into it. We have Bring the Sunshine by Dana Gregory, followed by Lyra Starr. And it's an amazing interview. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you in a bit.
Na 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 na. Everything about you makes me wanna get a little crazy. Looking at me like you want to, knowing that it makes me want you. Hair in a mess and that little sundress, skin soft as peach fuzz. Dandelion wishing, barefoot kissing, giving me a heat buzz. Hey now, I can see it's all in your eyes. Got me on a high like moonshine. We can turn it up loud to the world out. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Nothing up ahead but blue skies, all wrapped up in your blue eyes. Feeling so fine. Bring on the sunshine. Bring on the sunshine.
Toes touching the water, I can feel it getting hotter. Kisses going to my head, makes me wanna jump in. We can drift away in a summer haze, just in Tennessee dreaming. Put a blanket on the grass and fall too fast. You got me believing.
Hey now, I can see it's all in your eyes. Got me on a high like moonshine. We can turn it up loud to the world out. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Nothing up ahead but blue skies, all wrapped up in your blue eyes. Feeling so fine. Bring on the sunshine.
When the sun goes down, we can fall asleep together underneath the stars.
With a little luck, the sun will wake us up, lying in each other's arms. Hey now, I can see it's all in your eyes. Got me on a high like moonshine. We can turn it up loud to the world out. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Nothing up ahead but blue skies, all wrapped up in your blue eyes. Feeling so fine. Nothing
So I'm sitting here with Lyra Starr. How's it going today, Lyra?
It's going pretty well, all things considered. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. So you're on the West Coast, and as most people know, the West Coast is currently on fire, dealing with all sorts. So, but that's pretty common this time of year. Isn't there always like a wildfire, or isn't it like right now the like wildfire season?
This is fire season, but this year is obviously
Extensively
significantly worse. My friend told me they can actually see it from outer space, like all the fires that are happening right now. It's bad. I mean, the air quality index here in LA today is like 158. It's unhealthy. And like I mean, you can't really tell when you're outside, but just the fact that it's at that is like, it's just, there's just a lot of fires, and they're spreading pretty rapidly, I guess. I don't know what the containment is. I haven't even looked to see, which ones and where they're contained, but so.
Gotcha. And so you're originally from Tennessee. How long have you been out in California?
I've been on the West Coast for a long time now, actually. Probably, I've been in California, let's see, like 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was in, I went to undergrad near LA, like for college, at Pitzer College. And then I moved up to Oregon. I was in Portland for like 3 years. And then I came back to California, and I was in the Bay Area for about 8 years. And then I moved to LA 2 years ago.
Okay.
So,
awesome. So you've been on the West Coast long enough to consider yourself a West Coaster, I get.
Pretty much. I have a little bit of Southern pride. I'm from Nashville, I can bust out the Southern accent. I lived up there. I spent my whole life there, and I just wanted to see other places. And I did an Outward Bound course. I took a gap year, and I did a semester abroad, and it was mostly in California. Like, we did backpacking in the Sierras and rock climbing in Joshua Tree. And I just really fell in love with the beauty of the state, and just, all the different landscapes, and the weather. It's very nice. I like the sunshine. So
yeah, I got you. So you just released a new single. What's the name of the single, and what's kind of the story behind it?
The single is called Broken, and it's about falling for somebody that's really just not the right person for you. I wrote the song about someone that I had, not a relationship with, but someone that I was like sort of seeing for a bit in my more recent past. But when I finished the song, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of not the story of my life, but it's happened multiple times that I've just fallen for these individuals that are like, they're kind of like the moody, like brooding, creative types, but they have a lot of like inner work that they need to do, and a lot of darkness inside. And it's just, I mean, the song is kind of sad, but it's also about me recognizing not to let that into my space, and that it's better for me to be by myself than to be with someone that has so much of that going on, like they're just not ready to be in any sort of relationship or to commit to anything.
I completely understand. And so what was it about that song that you decided to kind of release it now during global pandemic COVID-19 times?
I know. Well, honestly, everything in my like release plans of things, obviously this year got pushed back. I had a music video that I was going to release back in May, and I didn't until I was actually going to release it like end of April, beginning of May, and I didn't release it till June because of everything, because COVID happened, and then all the riots were happening. There was just like one thing after another, so that got pushed back, which meant, I'm trying to space out my releases, so then I just had to push this back as well. And I mean, it's funny because my dad was saying, he was like, oh, it's kind of actually, he was like, even though that song's about a relationship, like the world is kind of broken right now. I'm just like, you're right, Dad. But it really is just a coincidence that it's being released in the pandemic. It's hard as an artist to release things during this time because there's just so much going on. But at the same time, I really feel strongly that we have to keep creating art, and that people need music. They need these things to just, even to escape for a little while. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, and what was the kind of create or recording process like? Did you record it during the pandemic, or was this recorded before?
I started recording it prior to the pandemic. I can't remember if we were finished. I feel like I finished recording it before the pandemic happened. I might have come in to record like the final vocal harmonies during like right when it first started, and then we finished off the drums during the pandemic. But I didn't have to be in the studio for that. I basically just sent the track to a producer that I had worked with in the Bay Area so that he could add digital drums on top of the real drums.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly I recorded most of it prior to the lockdown, but like right before, like in February.
Yeah.
I think everything shut down in March. So
yeah, and end of March, depending on where you were at, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So what's usually your recording process? Is it just you by yourself? Are you going in and doing single songs, or do you usually go in and do like a bunch of songs? Like what's kind of your process when you decide you're ready to record?
So I've only been at this for probably like maybe 5 or 6 years now, like at it like more seriously. And it's just moving down to LA 2 years ago that I really started to focus in on it a bit more. The first thing that I recorded and released was a full album of songs. And I was working as a school teacher in the Bay Area and working with a producer up there. So it took me like over a year to, it was 10 songs. So I would just go into the studio when I had time, record my part. I had some other musicians come in and then he was doing the production work. So that was when I recorded. And since then, I've realized it just seems like a lot of artists are releasing one song at a time now, or like EPs. So now I've just been going in and doing one song at a time. And I haven't worked, I've worked with a couple of different producers since I've been down here actually. And I think sometimes, different producers are more fitting for different songs, just depending on like what the vibe is. But I've really loved everyone that I've worked with. So it's been great. But yeah, since it's amazing, but I always I don't do my own like tracking or anything. Like I always pay someone to do that stuff because I don't have the bandwidth to learn it myself. Like I don't want to put that effort and energy in. I'd rather just pay someone the money to make it sound really good.
Yeah, so, I completely get it. So we're going to listen to Broken here in a quick minute. What do you want people to take away from the song as they're listening to it? Or what do you hope they take away from it?
I mean, for me, when I write music, I really just want them to be immersed in it. And I don't know, it's really beautiful. Like the cellos are so beautiful. The cello part is so beautiful and the piano and everything just, I don't know, I guess to take away that, I don't really know, actually. Yeah, I mean, I just want them to be absorbed in the song. Some people, I think, will be able to relate to it if they've had a relationship like that with someone. And if they can't relate to it, I just kind of want to take them out of whatever they're experiencing their everyday lives and just kind of just be immersed in this soundscape. Yeah.
And that's the first thing I noticed when I listened to the song was the cellos kind of bring the entire song together. Like,
oh yeah, I feel so lucky. The producer Colin Liebich, like he knows so many amazing musicians, and this cello player Jacob Sekeli is just amazing. And yeah, they work together to create the part to fit in with my piano part. So yeah, so
awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna go ahead and jump into that right now. Here's "Broken" by Lyra Starr.
The morning light, it feels so tired. The coffee cup is on your side. Your wicked smile, your words like knives. Well, I can't read between the lines. Babe, I'm going home. I'm okay to be alone. I'll be just fine on my own, because you're so broken. that's right for me. I'll let you go. I've paid my toll. I've tasted your toxicity. I'm better off alone than waiting by the phone. I hear you when you bring them home, but they don't know that you're broken. You're broken. It's my fault. I let you in. I hear it on these walls are paper thin. Your shadow creeps under my skin. Where does it start? Where do I begin? I won't let it win. Broken. Because you're so broken.
And that was Broken by Lyra Starr. So thank you so much for letting us play that song. I really enjoyed it. Like I mentioned before, I love the cellos in that song. It just makes it for me. Like, so thank you so much for letting us play it.
Yes, thank you for playing.
Yeah. You have an unofficial music video out for this.
Yeah.
What's kind of the story behind that, and why is it called the unofficial music video?
Well, I called it unofficial because I thought, oh, what if I end up recording an actual, or, you know, doing an actual music video that's like produced and filmed. This was literally just something that I like collaged together using iMovie and photographs that my friend, we did a specific shoot so I could use it for Instagram content, like leading up to the release. So I just did a collage of a bunch of those photos and a few older photos and like the cover art, and then some found images. And I just used iMovie to create a video for it. And I may end up changing it. I mean, it may end up just being the official music video. I was like, what if I end up like, you know, doing an actual video? Because yeah, a lot of people are, why are you calling it unofficial? I was like, I don't know, because what if I do an actual video? But
Sure.
But it still fits the vibe with the song, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. So, and yeah, obviously can't afford to pay to make a real music video right now, and there's the pandemic, so
Yeah.
doing it safely can be hard and challenging as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. And right now is the time to just get really creative with everything. Like just
that's right.
yeah, like
It
just
was a
figure out.
process for me as an artist actually to go into iMovie and really kind of hone in on how to use it and like what's possible. It took a lot longer than I thought, definitely, to create that video though. Like you think, oh, no big deal, I'll just throw some like photos together. But when it's like a 3 minute, 40-second song, like, oh, this actually takes quite a long time to like piece together everything and have it fill up the entire song.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. You know, it's not as easy as it looks, just as far as editing, especially when you want things done a certain way. You know, I used to definitely have like videos and stuff where I could cheat the system and just like throw them all. Like when I was younger, I used to get paid to help my boss do videos of photos of a vacation that he would go on every year.
yeah.
And it was basically the same thing as your music video, basically what I would do is just dump them all in a timeline and preset everything for a certain time. And then that was kind of it. And it just took forever to export. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I mean, but it works for people, you know, like but it does, and it gets you to learn how to use a new tool as well, I guess. Like I had only done like little, really short, like minute long stuff on iMovie. So that was my first time exploring, doing something longer.
Yeah, I got you. And so you'd never done a music video of that caliber, but you'd used iMovie before?
Yeah, I used iMovie just for like little, like just putting like, here's the cover art with the song behind it. And, you know, and you might like add a filter or something, but that's not really a full on movie. Or I've used iMovie if I'm like putting like a clip of like me doing my contortion training or something and like, you know, add some music or make it faster. Like I've just used it for little things on like Instagram before that are like minute long or like pretty short.
Yeah, I got you.
So I've like used it some, but not really for something that big.
So now that the song is out, what's kind of going through your head? How's it feel to finally have the song broken out? You know, what's kind of going through your head right now?
It's always a mix of emotions when I put new music out there. I'm like, are people gonna like it? How's it going to be received? But then it also feels good to have it out there. And, you know, I also have to like start to move on to the next thing. I can't really dwell on it. I worked with a PR company a bit, so they got some press, which was nice. And they got it added to some playlists. So people are listening to it. And that's mostly what I care about, is that people are hearing it right now. I'm still new to kind of like learning the ropes of the music business and how to submit my songs for like film and TV, but in such weird times because all that stuff is kind of shut down right now because of the pandemic. So I'm just like, I guess I just kind of be proud that it's out there, and now I have to move on to my next, you know, getting ready to release my next song and like finishing up like the production stuff. And you know, it's a lot that goes into it. You have to create content to get people's interest, like a month before. You got to do the cover art, all of that stuff. So
and then you got to submit it for like reviews and
you have to say if you're gonna, especially, and this one I'm gonna do the PR on my own. So I'm gonna have to do all of that on my own, which I've done before. I mean, I've written my own press release and everything, like gone through all of that process. But that takes time. Submitting it for playlisting, if you're going to do that, it's just like so much. Everyone's like, oh, it's like you release a song, and it's like it's not just the song.
There's so much prep work that you have to do.
So much, and I want to try to release it, you know, in December. So I'm like, I got to get on it right now. Like I got to at least like get the song finished, and then, you know, step by step. But I'm also, I'm not going to be too hard on myself if for some reason I can't release it until January, you know, if that's the case. Ideally, I want to release it in December, but I have to be gentle on myself during these times.
Yeah, absolutely. And December might be a little hard with the holidays and whatnot.
Yeah, I was wanting to release it like very beginning of the month, like first week of December. Like if I can't get that, then I wouldn't release it around the holidays by any means. So, but it's hard. I know there's Thanksgiving and all of that. But at the same time, I also kind of want to just get the one more song out there for 2020 and then just start fresh in 2021. Because this song is I already recorded all the parts for it.
Okay.
So it's essentially like, it's not like I'm starting from scratch and trying to record a song and then put it out there. It's like close to being ready to go. So
have you, do you have a name for this new song that's releasing?
Yeah. This one's called Light.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And is it going to be like the same style as Broken, or is it you going in a completely new direction?
Not sure about that yet. It's to be determined. Okay. As of now, it's kind of in the same style as Broken, but I sort of had a different vision for it. So I'm really kind of, that's my work right now, is to figure out where I want to go with it production wise. Like I may end up having to take it
and work it a little bit.
Producer that is, it's just hard because like everyone has their own, you know, ideas about what's going to sound good. And I had sort of a vision for the song at the beginning, and now it's gone in sort of a different direction. But I was so focused on the release of Broken that I hadn't had a chance to like listen to it in a while. So so that's to be decided. I can't really, it's a mystery. It'll be a surprise for everyone.
I completely get it. And where can everybody find you online? Where can they find Broken? Any new or your new stuff that comes out?
Yeah, so I'm on all. I've been using DistroKid to distribute, so it usually distributes to all of the streaming platforms. So it should be on, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you're using. I know they put it on like Napster. Like I'll get emails randomly. It'll be like, your song is live. And I'm like, I didn't even know that still existed. So it is available on all the streaming platforms. I have a website. It's lyrastar.com. It's lyra-star.com. And that is where you can always check to see like when my next release is coming out. It's got links to all of my socials, my handle is Lyra Star Music. So on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, that's, the thing. And but there are links to all. My website really is like, if you go there, you'll find all of the things that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's so funny that you brought up Napster, because it's like, I knew it was still a thing, but I didn't know people like actively use it.
Do they? I mean, I don't know. I get an email that like I got an email like a week ago that was like, your song is live on Napster, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
Thanks, DistroKid.
I'm sure there are those disgruntled, nostalgic early 2000 teens that are still in love with Napster, and they're just kind of like ride or die Napster people. And
sure,
yeah. I don't know.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm like, hey, if someone listens to it on Napster and they like it, great. Yeah,
absolutely. But thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your time. Can't wait to get you on the full-length podcast. I know we'd kind of talked about that. We were going back and forth today about getting that set up. So once we get closer to your new song at the end of the year, we'll get you back on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Then I'll have more of a clear idea of what to tell people about the new song.
Awesome. And hopefully things will be a little bit calmer, whether it's the fire season or COVID or...
Yeah, I hope so. I had a friend today that was saying, he was like, well, I think everything's going to go back to normal after the election. And I was like, maybe. That would be awesome. So, but who knows what will happen? It's every day is like a new surprise. I'm just like, I don't know what to expect anymore. And it is what it is.
My conspiracy theory side said the exact same thing. And then now it's just like, I don't even care anymore. Just let's get it done. Let's figure it out.
I know. I just keep praying for some medical miracle. I'm just like, fingers crossed that they find, the vaccine sooner rather than later, or something that's going to help mitigate the effects of the virus on people. And I don't know. I just want to go back to work. I really miss teaching like my yoga and Pilates classes. It's just not the same on Zoom. And I've been teaching like a park class once a week, but the air quality is bad today. So I canceled it. I just miss, I miss that too. Yeah, miss live shows like crazy, but I mean, gyms are more likely to open before the live music comes back, unfortunately. So,
before we call this off, how often are you usually out playing shows when there isn't the pandemic?
I'm like, when was that? I used to play, when I first moved to LA, I was like, played all the constantly playing shows just everywhere. And then I was like, this is not the way to go. It's better to space out your shows so you can actually get people that will want to come and hear you play. And I'm like, oh my God, well, I don't need to come to this one because she's playing in like 2 weeks. But I, when I first moved down here, I really just wanted to experience like playing as much as I could. And I used to do some busking as well. But I would say, I mean, ideally I like to play like once a month. I used to play at the Sunset Jam pretty frequently, but that's like a singer-songwriter acoustic lounge sort of thing. And I was like, I didn't really consider that to be like a show. I was like, cool, I'm going to play like a half-hour set downstairs at the Viper Room. It's easy, and who knows, we'll be listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally my goal is to play a show like once, like some sort of show at least like once a month or once every couple months, just to keep my chops up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah.
Hopefully we'll get back to live shows soon. I know Texas has already kind of started, but
are they?
Yeah,
it's not fair, but it's okay.
I don't know to what capacity though. Like I was on Facebook the other day and I saw one of the Central Texas music groups, every Friday they'll put out a list of all the shows that are happening for the weekend, and it was a pretty sizable list. Like considering we're in the middle of a pandemic, I'd say there's probably for the weekend there was like 12 shows or something. And it's like, where are you guys playing at? Like, yeah.
No, I imagine they have to have people, so the audience social distanced, and who knows? Yeah. I imagine they're not playing at like bars. I assume it's like a large space.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's probably one of the barbecue places that have like outdoor seating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, the Mint here in LA is apparently doing little curbside shows. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, I had a friend tell me about it and she's like, look into it. And I was like, yeah, but the Mint is usually like pay to play. Like if you don't bring a certain number of people in, you have to pay the venue. And I don't like those kinds of venues. I played one of my first shows at the Mint and I almost had to pay them money. And I was like, the stress was too much.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want this pressure. So I'm not sure what their little outdoor curbside shows are like, if it's going to be the same rules or not. But yeah, people said it's fun. So
oh, yeah. But
it's a start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better than nothing.
LA is interesting because I got some friends that live out there and they've been doing busking on the intersections.
Yep. I busked a lot when I first moved here. You can make some money sometimes. I haven't done it since the pandemic happened, but I mean, I know a girl that's been doing it in Echo Park, like by the lake. Like she sets up like a tent and everything and has been busking there. I think there's different places you can go. I used to busk in like Franklin Village area. I used to set up between like the ice cream shop and there was like, I don't know, there was like a comedy club there. It's a very artistic community. So I like used to just set up and play songs there for a couple of hours. I did the boardwalk a few times, like Santa Monica and Venice Beach. But once I started getting more teaching jobs, I didn't have time to like go do the busking. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but
I gotcha. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us the time to sit down and chat. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to talk to you some more later on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Every time I think of you with those deep blue eyes and those pretty cool shoes, I lose sight of my center. I don't do what I'm meant to. Every time I see you smile, there's a part of me that's going wild. I try to ask for directions, but I never get clear instructions. Just wanna know your game. Now that I know your name, you know that you're not usually my type, 'cause I always go for the wrong guy. The way you're talking to my soul is magnetic. I've been broken in pieces, there's a hole, can you heal it? Heart is beating double time, I don't get it. And this time I don't wanna regret it when you're on my mind. Every time that you let go, it's a memory from my dreams. I know that this might be scary, but I'd risk it again in a heartbeat. Every time that we're alone, the whole world stops and time's our own. I've waited for this for so long, stuck in a place you don't belong. Just wanna know your game. Now that I know your name, you know that you're not usually my type, 'cause I always go for the wrong guy. The way you're talking to my soul is magnetic. I've been broken in pieces, there's a hole, can you heal it? Heart is beating double time, I don't get it.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to current Tom, not previous Tom. A little bit more upbeat and highly caffeinated Tom. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I want to first off thank Lyra Starr for sitting down with me a couple weeks ago and conducting that interview. You also just got done listening to Magnetic by Kelsey Bove. We had Kelsey on the podcast back at the beginning of the pandemic when I was really starting to do the live stream aspect of the podcast. So we're looking forward to having her back on soon. And fortunately, she sent in her new single. And so I'm really excited to sit down and chat with her and catch up because, it's been a while. But like I had mentioned before, we have a very, very packed show. But as always, make sure you are leaving comments, leaving feedback. You can either do it in the Facebook, whatever Facebook post you're watching from, or preferably in the YouTube link. We're trying to monitor all of it. But please make sure you're leaving feedback, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. We'd really appreciate all of your support. And we really want to get feedback so we can forward it to the artist. Let us know what you're thinking about the songs. Let us know if you want us to choose different songs, all that fun stuff. But like I'd mentioned before, we're going to jump right into the next song. This next song is 90 Proof Pour by Nathan Maravich.
There's a dirt road you can follow a few miles back in the hills of Dover to a little shiner shack. Way along the mountain ridge where at night the still fires burn. As you cross the Conewago Bridge, that's how we do the things they once did. It's a place for family and friends gather both noon and night. It's the reality of a dream that we let take flight. It's a long-standing tradition that's been here once before. It's the same recipe Pappy made. It's that smooth 90 proof pour. Jerry and me, raising hell during the daytime and making hooch in the summer nights heat. Praying this time we didn't get caught running from the cops, going as fast as Dad's 55 Chevy would go, trying not to get stopped. That's how we do the things they once did. Friends gather both noon and night. It's the reality of a dream that we let take flight. It's a long-standing tradition that's been here once before. It's the same recipe Pappy made. It's that smooth 90 proof pour, yeah. Instead of running from the law, 'cause the law's on our side this time. That's how we do the things they once did. It's a place for family and friends gather both noon and night. It's the reality of a dream that we
and that was 90 Proof Pour by Nathan Maravich. But I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. We are coming up on the end of our first hour of our 2-hour special. So I just wanted to take a minute and wish you guys a happy Sunday. If you guys were watching sports today, whether it be football, baseball, whatever your sports is, if you happen to be a Dallas Stars fan watching hockey, or Tampa Bay Lightning, I think is the team they're playing for the Stanley Cup. I know that's tomorrow, but if you've been watching sports this weekend, hopefully your team won. I know my Chicago Bears, they came in, they won. You know, it was an exciting game that last quarter. We came back. So, on the other hand, my White Sox, different story. But hopefully, if you guys spent your day watching sports like I did, hopefully your teams won and had a better turnout. But I don't want to take up too much more time. That, like I'd mentioned, we just got done listening to 90 Proof Pour by Nathan Maravich. We had him on the podcast a while back, I believe like a few weeks ago. Great conversation. If you haven't checked it out yet already, please do so. But we're going to jump into our next segment, our interview segment. We have Christy Huff. We talk about her new single, Palm Reader. It's a great conversation. We actually just recorded this within the last few days, so it's a little bit more accurate to what I look like now. I don't look like a shaggy, homeless human being, but, you know, it is what it is. But first, we're going to swing by another song called I Was Wrong by Amy Lyons. We actually just had her on the podcast this weekend as well. You know, so a lot of musicians on the podcast. So make sure you're checking out the Live and Amplified livecast every weekday on Facebook. But until then, we have I Was Wrong by Amy Lyons, followed by the interview with Christy Huff. So we'll see you guys here in a bit.
At the start I was so naive, thinking in disbelief that someone like you could ever love me. I told myself that I would get hurt. I always think the worst, but then you came along, and I was so wrong. I was wrong. Never proud to say that I was wrong. I was wrong. I love what we've become. Do I even deserve love? The old me would have laughed if I thought of flowers on my nightstand, walking hand in hand. Saturday wake-ups with a smile. I promise to make this all worthwhile. I was wrong. Never got to say that I
So I'm sitting here with Christy Huff. How's it going today, Christy?
It's going great. How are you?
Doing pretty good. You know, it's Friday when we're recording this, so it's a great day. I love Fridays. Um, but first off, I want to thank you so much for jumping on here and coming on to talk about your new single that just dropped today, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. And yes, my new song, Palm Reader, just dropped today. I'm so excited.
Awesome. So what's kind of the story behind Palm Reader?
Yeah. So Palm Reader, I wrote a couple years ago, and I am a hopeless romantic. I fantasize about love and I daydream all the time. So I got the idea when I was driving and I saw a palm reader sign, and I got to thinking, of course, in like a love aspect, because that's where my mind goes, of how cool it would be to be able to go to a palm reader or somebody to tell you your future of who you're going to end up with. So that kind of idea and story just kind of got into my mind, and I wrote a song about it.
Nice. And so it's been something that's been written for a while, and did you just recently record it?
Yes. So I wrote the song maybe like 2 years ago, and I recorded it in January. So I've been wanting to record it for a long time, and then finally got to in January. And then I had a couple releases planned ahead of it because I wanted to release it in the fall, like close to Halloween. So
Yeah, I got you. And so what was it about January? You'd been sitting on it for a couple of years. What was it about January that you were like, okay, I think I'm ready to record this?
Yeah, I think so. I had gone in to meet with my producer, and I showed him a bunch of songs. And, Palm Reader is one of those songs that it's a slow song. It's, lots of times these days when you go into record songs, everybody releases a single. So you want to, release a song that stands alone as a single. And it's like, usually that means like upbeat or something, So every time I went in before, we were like, no, let's do a more upbeat song. And this time I was like, no, I just really want to do Palm Reader. It's a song that is so dear to my heart. And I think that it's obviously not a fast song, but it's so country in like the storytelling aspect that I think it stands alone great. So I'm really excited.
Now, were you playing Palm Reader before you recorded it? Were you playing it at like live shows and stuff like that?
Yes, I've been playing it for live shows for maybe a little over 2 years now, actually, because I think I wrote it like a little over 2 years ago. So I've been playing it live since the moment I wrote it, and it always got really good feedback. Like I always got great feedback on it from the audience and stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited.
That's awesome. And was there concern about so you recorded it back in January, and then obviously the pandemic do what pandemics do, destroy things,
Exactly.
Oh, was there concern about releasing it during the middle of the pandemic, or was it just kind of, no, I need to get it?
Yeah, definitely. I think like all of us, our plans have kind of derailed, but I released a song in the summer, which I was kind of debating if I was going to, and I released it, and it did well, and people were responding positively to it. So then that made me want to again release Palm Reader, because I think right now everybody wants and needs like new content, new positive content. So I'm sticking to my plan, and that's what I did.
Nice. And obviously, like, I'm sure you had like a whole release plan for it, and then it got thrown away.
Yeah. Yes, it's definitely looking different.
Are you doing any sort of like live shows or like live virtual shows this weekend or anything to kind of support the release?
Actually, I'm really excited. So one of my good friends released a song today as well. So next Sunday we are doing a little bit more of like a little bit more, I don't know if the right word is special, but a special live stream where we're going to do it in my backyard with a sound system with a trio. So it's going to be me, a bass player, and a cajon. So it's going to be, it feels like I'm getting ready for a real show. So I'm really excited, and that's going to be our dual release party, basically,
Nice.
as a
And-
live stream, but still.
Hey, that's awesome. It's always cool when you can kind of get a group together that you can kind of pool your resources and
Exactly.
make something really cool with the live streams. Because, like, you probably know just as well as anybody, the live streams are so hit and miss as far as.
They are. And I feel like it's like, as an artist right now, that's like what we're doing. that's like at least for me, that's what's like keeping me sane right now. Cause I want music, So this one that's planned for next weekend, it's going to be special and different. I think that's the thing, is to be different, so hopefully as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'd mentioned Gold Summer a little bit earlier. What did you learn from the release of that single that you're kind of preparing using for Palm Reader?
Yes, I learned from that. Like, usually when I release a song, I have like a release show, like in person, like at a venue, and do things like that. And my posting, and I guess my level of engagement on social media is not as much as I'd say as it was for Gold Summer, because obviously that's how I know people are listening. So I did a music video for Gold Summer, and I really liked that. I thought that was a cool way to kind of tell the story. So for Palm Reader, I'm doing a music video as well, just to create as much hype as I can on people's screens, since I can't be with them in person. So I just learned to do as much as you can on the web to make it a big deal.
Yeah, awesome. And we'll definitely talk about the music video after we listen to Palm Reader here in a minute.
Yes.
But as we get ready for everybody to listen to Palm Reader, what do you want them to know, or what do you hope they take away from the song?
I just hope that you take away, like, if you're not with the person of your dreams yet, listening to it and imagining who that person is, because that's what I do every time I listen to it. I just imagine my future, pretty much, my future person. So, and if you are with that person, I hope that you can relate.
Nice. Awesome. So here it is, Palm Reader by Christy Huff.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, how do I get through it all? How do I get through the heartbreak? The crystal ball told us so that someday love would find a home, but when I'm with you, someday doesn't seem so far away, no. Is it hopeless being a romantic? 'Cause I'm so hopeless dreaming about your smile. If I was a palm reader, baby, then only I could tell you your future. I'd say you strong, but live a good life, and one day you might find a wife. But I'm not a palm reader, but I know I'm your future. Baby, if I play my cards right, would you come home with me tonight? 'Cause I don't ever want to say goodbye. We're all dealt a different hand, we get along the best we can with what this life has to offer us. Is it hopeless being a romantic? 'Cause I'm so hopeless dreaming about your smile. If I And one day you might find a wife, but I'm not a palm reader. But I know I'm your future. Oh, I know I'm your future. Oh, I know I'm your future.
Cool. And that was Palm Reader by Christy Huff. First off, thank you so much for letting us play that. I really enjoy the song. You know, you mentioned that it's a little bit of a slower song, but it's just, it feels like a perfect September song. Just
It has like it has fall vibes, right? Like that's how.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So now that the song's out, you just before we played the song, you'd mentioned about a music video. Do you have an official release date for that, or what's kind of the plans moving forward?
I'm hoping a week from today, actually, next Friday, which is October 2nd, I believe. So that's my plan. I just need to we're doing some final edits of the video right now, of just like color correcting, but I think everything will be done by tomorrow even. So I think next Friday is the release of my music video, which I'm really excited about. I think it's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. So I'm excited for everybody to see.
And how's that kind of been? Because you've shot it during the pandemic, correct?
Yes. So, yeah, it was definitely a challenge to film during the pandemic, but I did it with friends that like we've all been isolating pretty closely together. So, so luckily, we were able to film outside, like not close to many people, and also at my friend's house, which where a lot of the shots are, and they have like a really cool fireplace in it, which is the vibe that I was going for. So luckily we were able to do it. It was like a 3-person crew, sometimes even a 2-person crew, me and the other person, So it was a very small crew. We were very careful, and yeah, I'm really excited though for everybody to see it. And this was the closest I've never been this involved in the editing process. So I'm really excited for everybody to see it.
Isn't it fun to kind of sit in on an edit though? Like just
It is. I love it. I mean, it's funny. I'm like sitting there as my friend, like where he's editing it, and I'm just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I don't know. Oh no, that's cool. You know what I mean? So, but I'm like, it's really cool to see all the work that goes into it.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because as an editor, it's like, I don't really like people sitting over my shoulder and just like nitpicking, not nitpicking, but like,
Yeah.
Not seeing like the bigger picture or whatever. But if you're just kind of sitting in and just kind of taking in the entire experience and like,
it's fun too. And like all of the work, I'm like, whoa, like you guys will see when you watch the music video, but my friend who edited the video, it's like he tried to make sure that every like scene shift was on a beat. And I'm like, me as like an observer, I don't know if I would even think about that watching it. But then it's like all the work that goes into making those little details apparent. It's like so much work. Yeah. So bravo.
Absolutely. Oh, and so is this kind of the plan with all your singles moving forward, is like release a single and then do a music video for it?
I think so. I want to do something like that. Yeah. And I think I might even do next is a video for my song that has the most streams, Black and White. I never did a video for it, and it's my most popular song. So I'm like, I need to go back and do it. So we'll see.
And so is a Palm Reader kind of leading to like an EP or an LP, or are you just kind of doing singles right now?
I'm just doing singles right now. Like eventually maybe for merch, I'll put all of my singles that I've released in the last year on a CD for merch sake. But as of right now, I'm just going to roll with releasing a new song every couple months.
Nice. And so now that the Palm Reader's out and that is a bit of a relief and that's kind of off your plate, what's the plan moving forward? Do you have more singles ready, recorded and ready to go, or like what's the plan moving forward?
Yeah. So actually, in October, which is dyslexia month, I have dyslexia, and I'm releasing a podcast where it's a limited like 8-episode podcast where I interview different people who have dyslexia, a child psychologist, a special education specialist, and parents of kids who have dyslexia. So I'll be releasing that in October, 2 episodes a week. Yeah. And at the end of October, beginning of November, I'll be releasing a song along with like to kind of end my podcast. So that's what's up next. So October is going to be, the next couple of weeks are going to be really busy, but really exciting and fun. So I'm excited.
I remember you talking about the dyslexia podcast on our
yes.
Yeah. And so when you brought that up, I was like, oh yes, we did talk about this.
Yes.
Oh, so that's awesome. I can't wait to sit down and listen to the podcast. You know, I'm really I enjoy working from home. I have a lot of free time.
Yes.
So
I love listening to podcasts in general.
And you know, there's only so many times that I can go back and listen to the same like 5 podcasts when they're
I feel
out.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait to listen to it.
Thank you.
But before we wrap this up, what's keeping you motivated right now during this pandemic?
During this time?
Yeah.
Man, that's a good question. I think what's keeping me motivated is honestly like, because there is kind of like a lag of like, before the pandemic, I was doing shows like every other day, you know, going out of town a lot to do shows, and, you know, most of my income and everything like that was through playing shows. So I was in that hustle, and now, so I always felt like I was going. And now, like, since I'm at home all the time and not able to play shows as much or like at all, unless it's like a live stream, I still crave that hustle. So now, honestly, it's kind of made me tap into other areas, like recording the podcast, recording more music, filming music videos. So in a lot of ways, I've liked this time to kind of dabble in other, in other areas that I wasn't putting as much time into before, just because I was stuck in the hustle of playing shows. So yeah, I guess just, I always need to be busy. And that's no different even in the pandemic.
I gotcha. But I want to thank you so much for giving us the time to sit down and chat. I really enjoyed Palm Reader, and I hope everybody that is listening now and will be listening in the future enjoyed it. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where can everybody find you online? Where can they find Palm Readers, support you, you know, all that fun stuff?
Yes, you guys can find me at my website is just christyhuff.com, and all my social media is just Christy Huff Music. Go listen to Palm Reader. It's out everywhere on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, TikTok, wherever you listen to music. So go listen to it. And thank you so much for having me. This is always fun to talk to you.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next single, whatever you got.
Yes,
you know,
I'm so down for that.
Awesome. Once again, Christy Huff, thank you very much.
You say you're lonely, say you're sorry for running away. You say you're angry 'cause you love me and you made a mistake.
And that was Lonely by Naughty Input. Welcome everybody back to present day Tom again. I just kind of realized that I'm wearing almost the exact same shirt I was wearing during that interview. It's not exactly the same shirt, but it's almost the exact same shirt. But once again, I want to thank Christy Huff for jumping on the live stream with us here tonight. Really appreciate it. It's always a great conversation. If you haven't had a chance, please go check out our podcast we did a couple of weeks ago. Also, please go support her. Go listen to Palm Reader. Hope you enjoyed it. I really did. And as always, make sure you're leaving your comments and your feedback in the comment section below. Would really appreciate that. I know all the musicians would as well. But, so we are well into the second hour of our 2-hour live stream. And we're kind of using this A, to make up for last week, and B, to see if we want to move the We Are live stream to 2 hours. So it's kind of got dual purposes. I'm kind of digging it. I would have to figure out like the happy medium of, is 3 interviews too long, too much, too little? Are we jeopardizing something? But we'll figure it out as we kind of move on. But I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, that that's a definite possibility. Let me know your thoughts. I would really appreciate it. But that being said, I do have one thing that I want to promote really quick. Today, actually, we just got approached about doing some coverage for a music festival. All this talk about the pandemic and isolating and shows not happening. A buddy of mine just reached out to me about an acoustic jam session style music festival that's happening in October. It is called In a Jam Down by the River. That's what it's called, In a Jam Down by the River. It is a music festival that'll be taking place October 22nd to the 25th at the Mountain Breeze Campground in New Braunfels, Texas. Yep. I'm not from Texas. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Yeah. If I butchered that, I apologize. They are hosting the Mountain Breeze Campground. Will be the location of the festival. Ticket prices are $30 a day or a night. And it will be basically, that'll include your campsite and admission, and you can kind of walk around to the different jam sessions and jam circles. They have advertised acts that are like on an official bill, and then they'll have unofficial acts that'll be coming in and playing and all that fun stuff. But check it out on Facebook. There's an event page for it, In a Jam Down by the River. Or you can go to the mountainbreezecampground.com and find more information there. But we've been asked to come on down and do our live and amplified fun. We'll probably do some jam sessions. We'll probably do some podcasts. We'll probably do some really cool stuff. So we will definitely be there. And if you happen to be in town, let us know and hit us up. But we are running really short on time right now, so we are going to jump right into the next song. This is Just Like You by Paige King Johnson.
Ain't it just like a man to forget every birthday and leave you hanging on the line, wondering if he's gonna say I love you? Ain't it just like a man to show up late to the party, expecting you'll be ready to leave on his arm soon? But ain't it just like you coming in from a long, hard day, dirty hands wrapping around my waist? Baby, tell me what's happened since I left this morning. And ain't it just like you to be so patient, even when I'm driving you crazy, to know me to make a mess of everything, falling apart to see how far you'll go to fix it. And ain't it just like me to ask you to up and leave your job and your mom for a new hometown just 'cause I'm in it? But ain't it just like you coming in from a long, hard day, dirty hands wrapping around my waist? Baby, tell me what's happened since I left this morning. And ain't it just like you to be so patient, even when I'm driving you crazy, to know what I want to say before I think a thing? Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me? Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me? And I hope the way you love me never changes, 'cause I've never felt anything like it, and I'll never find anyone just like you, coming in from a long, hard day, dirty hands wrapping around my waist. Baby, tell me what's happened since I left this morning. Just like you to be so patient, even when I'm driving you crazy, to know what I want to say before I think a thing. Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me? Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me?
And that was Just Like You by Paige King Johnson. Once again, thanks, Paige, for sending us a song. Really appreciate it. Let us know if you're enjoying the music. Leave your comments in the comment section below, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you're kind of watching. We're trying to monitor all the platforms above. And yeah, so just make sure you're leaving comments, questions, concerns, all that fun stuff. Also, while you're at it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because this is where the We Are live stream is going to live for the foreseeable future. Also, go check us out on Facebook, our website, liveandamplified.net, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. You can stay up to date on our podcast, our videos, all the fun stuff that we're doing right now and trying to get ourselves through the pandemic. We've got some really cool content that we're working on. We've got some big aspirations for stuff we want to do in 2021, so we'll kind of see what happens there. But if I'm talking fast for you, because we're running out of time here, and I want to make sure I get everything in. We are going to jump into our final interview of the day. It is with Laura Beckwith, not Lauren, Laura Beckwith, and we'll be talking about her brand new single, Halfway. But before we do that, here is Slow Town Blues by Madstone.
I've been loved and lusted, now looking for some fun. You told me to slow down, now I'm telling you. But time to turn around and I got this slow town blues. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Slow down, ain't going all that fast.
me to hold on, baby, if you want our love to last. You told me to slow down, now I'm telling you. I fight tight and turn around and I got this Suntown blues. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. But time busted, Highway 101. I've been loved and lusted, now looking for some fun. You told me to slow down, now I'm telling you. But time to turn around and I got this Suntown blues. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. So I'm sitting here with Laura Beckwith. How's it going today, Laura?
Hi, how are you?
Doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. You're currently in London. How are things going there with the whole pandemic? Are things starting to open up a little bit, or?
Yeah, it is starting to get back to some normal, the new normal, I call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting there. We'll soon be back to normal.
Awesome, awesome. Well, first off, thank you so much for giving us the time to sit down and chat. I really appreciate that. I know we were trying to get this going for a little bit, and you know, as life would have it, things get changed around, and you know, it's all good. It's all about being flexible. So, but you've got a new single it's already out, or it's getting when's the official release date?
25th of September.
Okay, so you have a new single that's getting ready to release halfway.
Yeah,
So what's kind of the story behind that song?
so it came after a extremely, really heated argument that happened with my family. And the song is kind of about me saying, what can I do to make this argument not get any worse? Yeah, that's what it's about.
Okay, gotcha. And what was it about the song that you decided to release it right now in the middle of a global pandemic?
To be fair, I released my debut single, Not in Love, like it was scheduled to release, and then we went into lockdown.
Mhm.
And that was like, oh God, it wasn't planned to be released in the lockdown.
Yeah.
And it went all right. And also I worked with this producer called Alex May on this, and he was completely country, and I just love it. I couldn't wait. I just wanted to get it out.
Gotcha. And what's the what was the recording process kind of like? Did you for halfway? You had it recorded before the pandemic? Then I take it, or
No, during well, it was when we were coming out, and it was getting a bit more relaxed.
Okay. So before the second spike hit.
Yeah, before the madness, we managed. I did the vocals in a day, which was actually it was better because we managed to get so many things done in one day.
Yeah.
We just like talked over the phone and just managed to get all the production done over the phone, really. So it's actually quicker.
Gotcha. And so you went into a proper studio and all that.
Yeah. Awesome.
what was kind of the recording process like for this? Like you'd kind of just briefly touched on it, but were you bringing in session musicians, or like were you doing a lot of the instrumentation yourself? Like what was that process kind of like?
We had a drummer come in for the song, but everything else Alex actually managed to do himself. He played guitar, he can pretty much play everything. So we had a session drummer come in and he did that, which it made such a difference. But yeah, so apart from that, the vocals I did, and harmonies I did, and all that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And what was the what's going through your mind right now as you're getting ready for the release? Like, what are you doing to prepare? Yeah.
Apart from being nervous about it, no, I'm just really. I'm working with a PR lady called Rachel, and she's been absolutely awesome. Like, she's been so helpful, and we're just bashing out interviews and just doing so many live streams and just trying to get the news out. But this is kind of like my debut country single, we keep saying, because it's kind of like a step into country. So it's going well, I think.
That's awesome. We love Rachel. We work with her all the time. So yeah, that's really awesome. So this is your debut country single. Why did you kind of decide to start journeying into country music?
So I feel like people laugh at this, but it's the honest truth. As a kid, I would grow up and watch like Hannah Montana so much. I was that weird kid that was obsessed with Hannah Montana and knew all the songs. And I've never really gone into country as such. I've always used it as my lyrics in country style, and put the pop into the production.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go full in. I want to do a country song, and that's kind of what I did.
Gotcha. Do you see yourself kind of staying in the country lane, or is it going to kind of be, let's see how this single does, and we'll see?
I think I will always mix the two, the country and the pop. I think that will be something that I do. Just mix together.
That seems to kind of be where more of the mainstream country is going nowadays anyways, is like merging the pop genre. So that's really cool. So we're going to listen to the song here in a minute, but before we jump into that, what do you want people, or what do you hope people take away from the song while they're listening to it?
That's a good question. To be honest, this song is all about making compromises, and I think sometimes when people get into arguments, everyone gets stubborn. So to take away from this song, I'd say make compromises in order to move forward from rough patches.
Awesome. So here it is. We have Halfway by Laura Beckwith.
Slamming tables, voices raised. I am glaring at your face. Back and forth and round again. We've been here so many times now. This time I think that we have crossed the line. Don't know if we'll go back to being fine. I apologize. Let me get right. I said that I'm sorry. Would you still be angry? Don't wanna be burning, no. Yeah, I thought we were worth it, so be halfway. I'm getting tired of always hating each other. Won't you tell me when this will all stop? We're speaking through our anger. This time I think that we have crossed the line. Don't know if we'll go back to being fine. I apologize.
And that was Halfway by Laura Beckwith. That's such an amazing song. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it. And I've had a chance to listen to it a couple of different times, and I pick up a bunch of different little things about it. And I just really appreciate you letting us play it. So
Thank you for sharing it.
yeah. So what, now that you're getting closer to the song beat or the single being released, you're probably about 10 days away, or a little less than 10 days, about a week.
Scary.
Yeah. Once it releases, what's kind of the plan moving forward?
I'm hoping that live music is going to be open. As I said before, I haven't actually performed Not Enough live because we released it during lockdown. So I'm hoping that live music is going to be up and I'm going to be out there as much as I possibly can. That's
Gotcha. Have you so I take it you haven't done you've done the virtual shows?
Yeah, I've done much more virtual shows, actually, more than live shows, weirdly, oddly. But so hopefully more live music.
How's the virtual shows been going?
They're getting easier. I think
Okay.
at the start it was very, very odd because you don't really get any response, but it's getting better, I think.
Yep, that's kind of been the common consensus among all musicians that are doing the virtual live stream is it's better, but it's so weird because like I'm so used, like every musician's so used to getting that feedback right after the song is done, and it's like not there anymore. So
there's nothing. It's just you in your home.
yeah, absolutely. So I've seen a few different people, like especially when the pandemic first jumped off and was a thing, and virtual streaming started becoming a little bit more mainstream. There was a few live streams where there was like a 30 to 40-second awkward pause because they didn't know how to naturally transition out of that first song.
Definitely, you never know what to say after you finish a song. You're like, I hope you like it.
Yeah, because normally if they're applauding, it's a thank you.
Yeah.
So like it's just a little bit easier to transition.
Yeah.
And then I saw somebody do something a little bit different where they were living with a bunch of roommates or something. They brought their roommates in. And so after the song, they would applaud, but it just sounded really sad because there was only like 3 of them in there. And it just sounded like a really empty coffee lounge. And it's like, oh, I kind of feel bad now,
No.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
But when there isn't a pandemic, how often are you out playing shows?
Oh, at least I was, just before we went into lockdown, I was at least twice a week just going out to like local pubs and places, and it's also a social event, I think. Meet other artists, and I miss that. So yeah.
Are you able to go out and busk at all? Like do any busking?
Never. My friend busks around London, and I watch her sometimes, but I've never done it myself. So maybe that'd be something I join her with.
Yeah. Well, because I know in certain countries, in certain parts of the world, like busking is not necessarily 100% legal, or
it's a bit. You have to have a license. I think with London for sure, you have a license, but some more less popular cities around like Essex area, you're okay.
Yeah, I know. Like there's a girl that I watch on YouTube. Like she's out busking. She's on YouTube. She's.
Is it Ali's?
Ali, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Is that, I think it's.
Yeah. Sure. Is it Sherlock? I think. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
True fan.
And I'm just sitting here like every day. It's like she's just out busking every day. That's amazing.
Every single hour. I could actually sing so many songs in that long time period.
Yeah. Absolutely. But so busking's something that you've never done, but you'd be open to do.
Yeah, definitely try it. I think it'd be different. I feel like I don't want to annoy people. Like, so, just shut up.
But I feel like if you go into like a shopping district, or not necessarily a mall, but like a shopping community. I don't know what to call it now. Like it. Yeah.
Like open markets.
There you go. A market. There you go. That's what I'm sitting here like, what do you even call that? There's a name for it. I feel like if you were to do something like that would be kind of inviting in people.
I love it when you have singers in the street because it does make the mood a bit more lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we wrap this up, I want to thank you so much for jumping on here and chatting with me. I really appreciate it. Um, what's what's keeping you motivated right now during the pandemic?
Um, sanity. Like sanity. Honestly, I feel like when you stop and when you don't do motivating things, that's when you're gonna drop. So it's just, and also just I love music. I love singing. So the more I can do, the more I'm happy.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, once again, thank you so much for jumping on here. I really appreciate it. And before we end it, let's what's one piece of advice you have for musicians that are, because I have a feeling during this pandemic we have a bunch of musicians that are getting ready to are just starting their musical journey. So that one person, I know you can think of one person that's just started playing music. What piece of advice would you give to them?
Learn how to play an instrument. I think it makes you that 100%, 110% better. So if you're into music, go and learn how to play an instrument because that shows you're dedicated. So yeah, that'd be my
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to speaking more with you. Hopefully we can get you booked on a full-length podcast and talk a little bit more.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep, absolutely.
When I wake up and I feel nothing, when I move up and I feel left behind, I know what it is. I know what it is. When I throw up, I feel no relief. When I screw up, I feel no responsibility. I know what it is. I know what it is. When I wake up and I feel nothing, when I move up and I feel left behind, I know what it is. I know what it is. When I throw up, I feel no relief. When I screw up, I feel no responsibility. I know what it is. I know what it is.
And that was When I Wake Up by Like a Rug. Welcome, everybody. I'm starting to realize all I have are red shirts. Like, what is wrong with me? Holy cow. But once again, thank you to Lauren Beckwith for Laura Beckwith. I will get it right one of these days, for jumping on and talking about her new single Halfway. If I'm talking fast, it's because I'm trying to get shit done and trying to get trying to get you out of here right on time, as I said I would. So we're going to jump right into the next song. And the next segment, we have a cool little thing we're going to try and do here really quick. But before that, here is Wine from Water by 21 Grams More.
Come on up, slide on in. You've got potential, and I am seeing. I am wasted, I'm not all there. Or could I say, or would you care? Wine from water, baby, no stone unturned. Live fast, die young, crash and burn. If I say, don't live for you, will it hurt like harsh words do? Come on, babe, say you know what. You can cry, bring me a blood. Wine from water, baby, no stone unturned. Live fast, die young, crash and burn.
And that was Wine from Water by 21 Grams More. So once again, thank you to those guys for jumping on here. Really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your song. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We're coming down to the last little bit here. But, before we jump into this last song, I posted something on Instagram, on my Instagram stories, doing an Ask Me Anything. And I said, anything you ask, I will answer right here on the live stream. And we got one question, which is fine. I wasn't expecting any, actually. But we did get one, and I just opened it right here. Yep, right here. And so the question is, you have to play Magic the Gathering against any lead singer of any band. Who is it? Thanks, Joel. I knew you'd ask something like that. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Magic the Gathering against any lead singer of any band. Honestly, I'd play Magic the Gathering against Wizard, the band, in general. Because I feel like that's what they do anyways. But, yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. Joel, Your answer is wizard. But once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We've got one more song for you. We're going to end right on time. Holy cow. I was so concerned that this wasn't going to happen. But let's jump into the final song. We have You and Me by Heather Nicole Harper. And here we go.
Last night I had a dream about you and me, that two can walk together, except they agree. The sky is blue and the grass is green. I can see God in everything. I believe He's with you and me. As we stand before the King, didn't seem like a dream. He said you kept your vow. I can give you my blessings now. The sky is blue and the grass is green. I can see God in everything. I believe He's with you and me. The sky is blue and the grass is green. Gotta reach, see you in everything. I believe. Love is patient, love is kind. For you are always on my mind. Where there's hope, there is trust. Almighty God, I pray for us.
And that was You and Me by Heather Nicole Harper. How about that, guys? We made it through a 2-hour special. No one's tired, nobody's bleeding, nobody's crying. We made it with 3 minutes to spare. So you're mine for the next 3 minutes. I get to say what I want to say. I get to speak my piece. But once again, thank you to all the musicians. I mean, truthfully, honestly, thank you to all the musicians who sent in music, and the ones we've used, the ones we used, the ones we didn't use. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We would not be where we are without you guys. That being said, we are always looking for more musicians to interview, whether it be for the podcast, whether it be for the We Are live stream. We're also looking for more music to use. Visit right here, the liveandamplified.net, to submit your music for a review. Or you can also send it directly to us through our email, lnamusicreview@gmail.com. So both of those ways, they ultimately both go to the same email. But feel free to reach out. We'd love to chat with you. We'd love to feature you on the live stream. That also being said, please, please, please go and support all of our friends, all of the musicians that we featured on here. Please go support MXL Mics. This beautiful bastard, blue bastard right here, bing bing, right there. MXL 990 Blizzard. It's an amazing mic. We absolutely love it. And if you are in the market for a microphone, whether you're a musician or whatever you got going on, please check it out. And like I'd mentioned earlier in the stream, Inner Jam by the River Acoustic Music Festival, October 22nd to the 25th at the Mountain Breeze Campgrounds in New Braunfels, Texas. So make sure you're checking that out as well. Liveandamplified.net. We are dropping a brand new article later this week. It is the 8 musicians to look out for in Central Texas. It is one that I am writing, so don't criticize me too hard, but I'm trying. I'm trying to expand my horizons and become a better writer. So be on the lookout for that. We got a full week of podcasts. So please, please, please follow us on YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe on YouTube. This is where the We Are live stream is going to be for the duration of its life. Please follow us on Facebook. That's where all of our live cast podcasts are. Please follow us on Instagram. We do daily or several times a week. We do a live stream on there. Twitter, LinkedIn, Spotify. Please follow us everywhere. We really appreciate y'all. Once again, thank you all so very much. I really appreciate you. I'm your host, Tom Quiet. This has been another We Are live stream, and I will see you guys same time, same place next week. See ya.